Danielle Lorian. I'm the director of the company. You will get to meet more of the company, not only the dancers that will be up here, but we'll introduce choreographers and directors for the company at the end of the show as well. So right now you get me, and then you'll get to know more of them a little bit later. So before I give us any extra information, I did want to go through just making sure that we're silencing our phones and making sure that none of that adds to the ambiance of the sounds that you guys will be hearing today. And I also wanted to let you know kind of what we've been up to this season. So we started our auditions in September, and then we quickly proceeded into our annual Thriller dance. So we every year start to work through some of the original choreography to Thriller, and then we staged that at the Durham Museum, and this year we also got to perform it at the Benson Theater, which is getting renovated, and it is a really cool setting because, you know, you have this old brick building that's kind of run down, and there's cobwebs everywhere, and you know, and so it's just the perfect setting for Thriller to happen, and so we were really excited to be in that space this year, and we'll hopefully be able to perform there again. And then we ended up having a master class from 10 Hairy Legs. It's an all-male modern dance company. And when they were performing, in Kansas City, they got a hold of us and said, hey, can we stop by? And we were very welcoming to them and said, yes, please come. And so they worked with the company on a master class in November, and I've been in communication with them, and we're going to be doing some more involvement and collaboration with them coming this next season as well. And then we ended our fall part of our semester with our up and coming, and this is our second year that we've done this. It's a performance for novice choreographers, people who are just kind of getting their feet wet into the idea of choreography, to give them a platform in order to show their work, to get feedback from some of the directors in our company, and to just, you know, be able to come together as a community. And so this year, we tripled our size in the amount of dances that were being shown from the first year. So that was really exciting. We got to see a wide array of different styles of dance, everything from belly dancing to ballroom to modern to clogging, you know, contemporary. We had all sorts of different styles, and it was really, really wonderful. And so one of the groups that's here tonight is part of the A-team dancers from the dancing classrooms, who are one of the groups that performed at that show, the showcase in the fall. And so we're going to get to see them. They'll be the second piece that is up today, and they're going to be doing a waltz for us today that is gorgeous. And so then we started into our spring semester, and so we're in January doing ODP, which is the Omaha Dance Project. The first piece you guys will see tonight is the piece we started and took there that we've been working on all season. And then most recently, Paul Taylor is coming, his company is coming into town on the 20th of April. And the Omaha Performing Arts asked dance companies in the community to put together a dance that was inspired by Paul Taylor's work. And so I had an opportunity to work with some of his dancers when I was in undergrad, and I was always really struck by just the flow and the power of the movement. And so I created a piece that we then recorded and put onto YouTube, and they're going to bring together all the companies that did that and showcase them on a social media platform to show what Omaha is doing to remember Paul Taylor. And hopefully, I'm not sure how they're integrating that into their performance, but there's some sort of connection that they're going to be doing. And at the end of the show, I'll post our link up here on the screen that'll pop up behind me. So if you want to see our full version, you can see that. Because tonight we're showing it with 5 less dancers than we actually originally had. So we've reworked some patterns, but if you want to see the full work, there'll be the link at the end of the show that you'll be able to watch it. And so now we're here to the Spring Showcase, and we have a really, really exciting performance for you, but even more exciting, I have Mike Meserol here, who's going to talk about a new award that the School of Health and Kinesiology has just started.
So tonight I get the privilege to announce Professor Josie Metal-Corbin Moving Company Award. For those of you that have been here for many years, Josie Metal-Corbin has been part of the showcase for over 35 years. During her 35 years at UNO, she was a scholar artist, an educator who established new alliances, built audiences, and made dance accessible to all. Her direction, choreography, and dancing for the moving company reflected a collaborative approach that often used site-specific elements as the catalyst for movement design where multiple voices were encouraged and valued. At the core of her creativity process was a compelling desire to make connections with other art forms, with social issues, with non-dancers, with emerging artists, with a variety of disciplines, and with the community. I can attest to that because I trained physical education teachers when I got to teach with Josie for 15 years. And at one point, and I can't remember what year it was, Josie, she says, "You're not going to believe it, Mike, I have 10 male dancers." And I said, "Where did you find them?" And she said, "They're our majors." Realized that these were individuals who I think they like to move, but they were, what's the word I'm looking for? They were not performers. They were performers in the classroom, they were performers on the gridiron, they were performers on the basketball court, but she took this group of young men and made them into a cohesive dance unit, and it was just outstanding to watch. For those of you that have ever received an email from Josie, you know at the end of her email, her signature line says, "On with the dance." And I think that exemplifies her life with dance. So please let me welcome Professor Josie Miller-Corbin.
I am so grateful that the universe aligned and put me in a career of dance for 48 years. Every day I get up and I wanted to go to work. I'm deeply honored to have an award in my name. So, on with this award, but first, the inaugural recipient. And I want you to know that I had the privilege, and I had Lauren Tulip-Bartels, who was the Associate Director of the Moving Company, and she and I worked with and for the Moving Company for over 73 years. I know, it seems unbelievable. Combined. Yes. Combined. All right. Celebrating his spirited leadership, relentless commitment to the Moving Company, and his extraordinary artistry, I am thrilled to present Dominic Brown with his inaugural award. So and arranged for master classes. He's an exemplary collaborator, and you will not only find him in a zillion pictures out in the hallway and in the dance lab, but he has left and will continue to leave a legacy of dance, not only here on this floor, but also we together have been in the fields of Glacier Creek Prairie, the Isles of St. Cecilia, the streets and parks of Exarban, the gymnasiums of Omaha Public Schools, Omaha District Public Library, the Grand Hall of the Durham Museum, the foyer at the Joslin Art Museum, the Healing Arts Center, the Lead Center at Creighton, and the span of the Log Ferry Bridge. You are an intrepid, cherished member of the Moving Company, and I'm thrilled that you are for it. On
You can have all the money in your hands, all the possessions anyone can ever have, but it's not worth its treasure. True worth is only measured not by what you got, but what you got in your heart. You can have everything. What does it mean? It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. You can't just talk the talk. You got to walk that walk. Yes, you do. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. And I stand up for you. And I stand up for you. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. You do the best that you can do. Then you can look in the mirror. Round up was looking back at you. Do you find the life you're living? Not by what you take, but what you're giving. And if you bet on love, there's no way you'll ever lose. Take a stand, make a stand for what's right. It's always worth the fight. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. You can't just talk the talk. You got to walk that walk. Yes, you do. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. And I stand up for you, self-respect, dignity. If that's all you want, then you got all you need. And without that, you don't have a thing. Oh, no, no, no.
Was warm, my skin was sore. I called your name till the fever broke.
See the road stretch out to the open place. See wet tears stand on Grandma's face. Gonna get some love and rolling. That's 100 miles that I'm going.
Thank you again for coming to our showcase this evening. I did forget to mention that La Fuerza dancers from Omaha South High School were also in that last piece that we did. They collaborated with us, so if we could give them choreographers come on out. Holly Schumann was our guest choreographer for the first piece, and Marty Hebert worked with the waltz duet. She's coming over here. We have Katie Good and Sarah Hennessy if you guys want to wave. Lindsay Belmont, Brianna De Fuentes, Dominic Brown, Cameron Picardin, Alyssa Hansen, Maria Reyes, Loren Rose. All of this on without the help from my amazing crew of people that work. So that the dancers help just as much as anybody else in this company. It's very much a collaborative work. But there's a couple individuals that really do a lot for the company. Dominic Brown is our PR director. Shannon Scarlett is our rehearsal director. She had a baby recently, so she is not here tonight. But the three of them with myself, we are constantly coming up with different ideas and working together to make it happen. And the dancers are always willing to help out, and it really makes things come together and happen. And we have Trent on our lights in the back, and Alex. And Marsha Schweigert is helping us backstage for tonight, getting all of our dancers. And before I conclude, we will open up the screen here, if Marsha and Anna wouldn't mind. We have the link for that last performance in its totality with all the dancers. As I mentioned, we didn't have 5 of them in the original piece here tonight, so you would be able to see the full piece, and I will have Alex get that up there. That is the link for it. If the light is in the way, you can kind of come around. We'll move that. But as you guys are leaving, our international folk dancers, who we love our collaboration with, are here tonight to be able to do an audience participation folk dance so that you can get a little movement for yourselves as you guys make your way out the door. And so that way, even if you were an audience member, you can be a dancer tonight. All right, so thank you so much.